Thinking of leaving the railroad for another job? You should really watch this video. Welcome everyone to another edition of the Highball Advisors Railroad Retirement Whiteboard. My name is John McNamara of Highball Advisors, and today's whiteboard is about those railroaders that are thinking of leaving the railroad for another job, or career, that type of thing. Not the retirees. So this is more those job changers, right? I've been with the railroad X number of years. I'm thinking of leaving to go take another position. Right, so I thought I'd do a video on things you want to be thinking about, okay? Not so much what you do after you have left the railroad, but hey, I'm making this decision. What should I be thinking about, John? So I put down a few things. Now, what I did is I broke it down to apples to apples and apples to oranges. So you'll see what I mean, what I'm talking about. So if you're just moving to a position that's the same industry as Social Security positions, the way I look at it, right? From one job to another, and it's all paid into Social Security, 401ks, all that type of same thing. So what you want to think about is, the important things: work environment. Hey, can I advance in the job? These are all the things that you want to be thinking about. Benefits. Is it a better health care plan? What's the 401k plan? Are they matching more? Those type of things. Time off, right? Especially railroaders, that's a big thing. So, vacation days. Am I increasing my vacation days, personal days? I mean, obviously salary is important. I didn't feel like I needed to write that down. And then even lifestyle, right? Does this help improve my lifestyle? And does it really help you achieve your long-term goals, right? What are you thinking about? Maybe retirement planning, maybe retiring early. So does that apple-to-apple comparison when you move from one job to another. Now, as a railroader, here's the additional items that you need to consider, as I put it in my column, apples to oranges column, right? So it's about years of service, which is important, right? Because we're talking about that Tier 2 portion of your railroad retirement, right? Very, very beneficial. So, and also remember, it gives you 30 years of service becomes your full retirement age, right? So you can start collecting railroad retirement at 60 versus a Social Security worker whose full retirement age, born after 1960, would be 67 years old. So the first thing you want to do, depending upon how many years of service you have, am I vested, right? So if you have 5 years of service in the railroad, you're vested. You're now eligible for railroad retirement benefits. So if you're less than 5, it's kind of a no-brainer. Go back to apples because the railroad part's not really. But really after 5 years, you're vested. Now the clock starts ticking and the decisions get tougher and tougher, right? So how many years to 30, right? How many till 30 years? So that's important, right? Maybe 10, 12, 13, okay, fine. But now when you start getting towards that 25, close to 30, whoa, right? So now we're thinking, well, 30 years, that's a big number because now I can retire at 60. So then that triggers the question is, how much is 7 years of your life worth? Basically, that's the way I kind of break it down. Say full retirement at 60 or 67, where I got to do another 7 years. So that's a really big thing to consider. You'll have to answer that one yourself, but that's a big benefit. And then, and I guess the layer on top of that is, what does retirement look like for you? So, that 7 years, going back to that, a lot more active at 60 than at 67. Unfortunately, that's just the way life works. So, hey, what are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? What's important to you for as you get older into retirement? Being able to leave the railroad with your 30 years. I mean, you can even leave the railroad at 30 years if you're 55 or something like that. And knowing that you're going to have this guaranteed retirement income at 60 versus 67. So if you want to retire at 55 over here before in this case, your Social Security kicked in, that's 67. You got to build a bridge for 12 years versus a railroader who has 30 years but only have to do 5. So that's important. You got to think about that. And then the cost of leaving the railroad, right? The Tier 2 stops. Okay, you can't get that annuity any bigger. Plus, it freezes. So let's say if you left the railroad at 45 and you're going to work another 22 years, this number is going to freeze. It doesn't adjust with inflation until you turn it on. So that number 22 years later is going to be from your 15 years of service 22 years ago. So that's a big cost there. And then the survivor annuity, right? I always talk about that. You're going to lose your current connection. The survivor annuity, big benefit for the spouse if something unfortunate happens to you. So you have to plan for that, right? How am I going to adjust on the estate plan? Maybe make it up with life insurance, right? So the point I'm saying here is it's apples to oranges if you're a railroader, and you really need to understand what the true cost of moving out from the railroad to a non-railroad position. So I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to add anything else in the description column. If there's any other things that I didn't mention, I'd love to add that to keep the conversation going. If you're nearing retirement or close to retirement, feel free to reach out to me. Go through the boarding for railroad retirement process. Really good stuff there to help you answer a lot of these questions, that's for sure. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell. Share the video with other railroaders, especially those thinking of leaving the railroad. Until next time, everyone, please stay safe, stay on track, and take care. So long, everybody. Bye.